Ever wondered why some people grind away at the gym day after day, year after year? What drives them to push their limits? Is it the pursuit of a better body, a healthier lifestyle, or perhaps a mental challenge? It's a testament to the power of discipline, dedication, and determination. They're not just building muscles, they're building character, resilience, and a mindset for success. The gym, you see, is their proving ground. It's not about the destination, but the journey and the transformation that occurs along the way. Remember the first time you stepped into a gym, the uncertainty, the intimidation. You were stepping into an entirely new world, a world filled with people who seemed to know exactly what they were doing. The clanging of weights, the hum of treadmills, the grunts of effort all around you. It's like stepping into a foreign country where you don't speak the language. It's intimidating, yes, but there's also a spark of determination. You're here for a reason, after all. You're here to transform, to push your limits, to become a better version of yourself. And that starts with a single step. You approach the treadmill or the weights or the rowing machine. Your heart is pounding, not from exertion, but from nerves. You take a deep breath, remind yourself why you're here, and then you start. And just like that, you've taken the first step. That first step, though daunting, marks the beginning of a transformative journey. Learning new exercises, understanding your body, it's a steep learning curve, isn't it? Embarking on a fitness journey is like discovering a new world. Suddenly, you're learning new exercises, each with its own set of rules and techniques. You're becoming familiar with terms like reps, sets, cardio, strength training, height, and so much more. Initially, it may feel like you've landed in a foreign land trying to decipher an alien language. But this is where the excitement lies, the thrill of learning something new, of pushing your boundaries, of stepping out of your comfort zone and seeing what you're truly capable of. Each exercise is like a puzzle piece fitting into the larger picture of your fitness journey. Some pieces may fit easily, while others might require a little more effort and time. And that's perfectly okay. The important thing is to keep going, to keep trying. There's a certain sense of accomplishment that comes from finally nailing that tricky yoga pose or lifting a heavier weight than you thought possible. It's these small victories that make the steep learning curve worthwhile. But learning new exercises is just one part of the equation. Understanding your body and how it responds to different exercises is equally crucial. Every body is unique and responds differently to physical stress. Some might find running easy, while others might excel at weightlifting. The key is to listen to your body, to understand its strengths and weaknesses, and to tailor your workout routine accordingly. Remember, fitness is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's about finding what works best for you, what challenges you, what helps you grow. It's about understanding that progress is not linear. There will be days when you'll soar high, and there will be days when you'll struggle to even get off the ground. But that's the beauty of the learning curve. It's steep, it's challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So don't be intimidated by the learning curve. Instead, embrace it. Revel in the challenge it presents and the growth it promises. After all, the learning curve may be steep, but the progress made is worth every sweat drop. The grind, the daily battle against oneself, it's what separates the dedicated from the rest. In the realm of fitness and personal improvement, consistency is the cornerstone of all progress. It's the deciding factor in whether we're moving forward or standing still. Consistency is the difference between a fleeting moment of glory and a lifetime of achievement. It's the relentless repetition of effort, the unyielding persistence in the face of adversity, and the steadfast dedication to improvement that constitutes the grind. When we train hard, we're not just strengthening our bodies, we're also fortifying our minds. Each rep, each set, each grueling workout is a testament to our resilience, our ability to push beyond our perceived limits, and our commitment to becoming better versions of ourselves. You see, the grind isn't just about the sweat on our brows or the burn in our muscles. It's about the transformation we undergo, the growth we foster, and the strength we build. It's about the discipline we cultivate and the habits we form. It's about the willpower we develop and the mental toughness we acquire. The grind is about pushing oneself when it's the last thing you want to do. It's about getting up when you've been knocked down. It's about struggling against the odds. It's about refusing to give in, even when the going gets tough. It's about perseverance, resilience, and tenacity. But remember, the grind is a journey, not a destination. It's a process, not an endpoint. It's about the small victories that accumulate over time, the incremental progress that leads to monumental changes. It's about the little steps that lead to big leaps, the small efforts that result in huge transformations. So, embrace the grind, cherish it, honor it, because it's the grind that shapes us, molds us, and ultimately defines us. It's the grind that pushes us to be better, to do better, to become better. It's the grind that fuels our growth, fosters our transformation, and fortifies our strength. The grind is not just a physical battle, it's a mental one too, and it's here that true strength is built. And then one day, you lift a weight you couldn't before, run a mile faster than ever, and realize the power of hard training. It's like a thunderbolt illuminating the darkest night, a moment of pure exhilaration that eclipses all the sweat, all the pain, all the doubts you've ever had. This moment, this breakthrough is more than just a personal record. It's the embodiment of every single drop of sweat that has fallen from your brow, every gasp of breath, every muscle that has screamed in protest. It's a testament to the countless hours you've spent in the gym, the countless miles you've run, the countless weights you've lifted, but it's more than just physical. It's the mental fortitude you've developed, the resilience you've built, the discipline you've cultivated. It's the realization that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. This is the joy of hitting a personal record, the satisfaction of seeing progress. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated joy, a moment of triumph. It's the moment when all the pieces fall into place, when all the hard work pays off, when all the sacrifice makes sense. And it's not just about the physical prowess, it's about the mental strength, the emotional resilience, the spiritual fortitude. It's about the person you've become in the process, the person you've always wanted to be. It's the point where you move from beginner to expert, from novice to master. It's the point where you realize that you are not defined by your limitations, but by your potential. It's the point where you understand that hard training isn't just about physical strength, but about personal growth. This is the breakthrough. This is the moment you've been training for. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the moment you've been dreaming of. That breakthrough moment is a testament to your hard work, a sign that you've moved from beginner to expert. So, is training hard worth it? Let's recap what we've talked about. We started with the hard questions, the ones we often grapple with before embarking on any fitness journey. We pondered on the importance of discipline and dedication, and how these traits are fundamental to our success. We realized that discipline isn't just about showing up at the gym every day, it's also about making healthier choices in our daily lives. It's about pushing through the tough times, even when it feels like we're not making progress. Then we took the first step. We acknowledged that starting is often the hardest part, yet it's the most crucial. We learned that the only way to progress is to start, to take that leap of faith, and once we do, there's no turning back. We realized that the first step isn't about perfection, but about initiation, about taking action. We then navigated the learning curve, understanding that growth isn't linear and progress isn't always visible. We discovered that it's okay to make mistakes, to falter, because that's how we learn. We're not supposed to know everything from the get-go. We're here to learn, to grow, to evolve. We moved on to the grind, the relentless pursuit of our goals. We discussed how the grind is where transformations happen, where we push our limits and discover our true potential. We learned that the grind isn't about immediate results, but about consistency, about showing up day after day, even when we don't feel like it. And finally, we experienced the breakthrough. We observed how, after all the hard work, the sweat, and the tears, we finally start to see results. We understood that the breakthrough doesn't come easy, it's earned. It's the result of our discipline, our persistence, our unwavering dedication. We've journeyed through the importance of discipline, navigated the learning curve, embraced the grind, and celebrated the breakthrough. Each of these stages is a crucial part of our fitness journey, and none can be skipped or rushed. They're interconnected, forming a cycle of growth and transformation. To answer our initial question, yes, training hard is worth it. It's a journey of self-discovery, strength, and
Sometimes when you don't know where you're going, the best thing to do is go there. A wise man once stated that an object at rest stays at rest. And while his rationale is a little different than mine, I'm gonna borrow from his premise. Right? Because when you move, even if you don't know where you're going, you put yourself on a collision course with something. You put into existence an entity to react to. Some call it destiny, others call it fate. I call it simply initiative. Because if your journey is hypothetical, you have nothing to celebrate nor correct. A sailboat can adjust its sails once it leaves the harbor, right? It can learn from and manipulate its surroundings, make sure it arrives at a destination, right? It learns and adapts along the way. But from the harbor, it speculates. It expounds upon a path that might be straighter, might be faster, might be more thought out and tied together than the crazy sailors who took off for the horizon, but in actuality, it goes nowhere. In the real world, it is stagnant, and I could be wrong, but I'd make the argument 10 out of 10 times that the real world is where we want our results. And my proof? Well, a journey that started with insurance and evolved into music and songwriting and audio production, then video production, then creative writing, then a sweet spot that kind of combined everything. A spot that didn't make its way to my inbox with an exact address. A spot that required a lot of failure and lessons learned and disappointment, but man, more than that, so much fun. Right, my proof is sitting down right now in real time, letting my fingers create a bridge from nothing to something of value. By the way, after sitting here staring at a blank screen for hours, it's just starting. Could I be wrong? Could I screw up? Could I wildly miss the mark? Yes. In fact, it happens more than I'd like to admit. But here's the beauty, even if I am wrong, I now have something to work with. Something has been brought into existence. And well, that means I'm officially further along than I once was. And I've heard over and over again that there is no perfect moment, that you have to just go. And the idea, it makes sense. It's impossible not to understand, but it's one of those things that until you feel it doesn't mean anything. How can you miss something you've never experienced? Well, to put it in a way that helped me understand, you aren't going because, what do you have to lose? You're going because everything is to be gained. The answers that you pick up along the way, like the little coins you pick up in Super Mario, right? You have to start collecting pieces of a puzzle that you can then arrange. I truly believe that one of the most important ideas we need to hold on to moving forward is personal agency, self-belief. And I say that because I feel like I'm watching it slip. There are cases where we literally don't know or understand that it's within our own ability and control to change our lives. No person or group or letter in the mail is going to come along and green light your idea. In fact, you might not even really know what your idea means or how it will look. And that's not only okay, it's amazing. It's the marble that you get to chisel away at to create something. See, life is not the perfect execution of a plan. Life is the courage to make your way into a world that no one really understands or knows anything about. And I'm not talking physics or biology or quantum mechanics. I'm talking about the real life that is emergent from those areas of study, right? There is no perfect formula for happiness. But it will always be true that immobility or standing still is antithetical to progress. And there is plenty of data that supports the idea progress equals happiness. We want to move towards something. So that's what this is about, right? Here's to not being scared of what we don't know. Because somewhere in the realm of what we don't know exists what we need most. So yeah, stop waiting for the perfect moment. And yes, begin. But not because it's an ultimatum. Do it because the things that make life fun and intriguing and exciting and ultimately worthwhile, they live on the other side of your front door. Lead yourself first. Before we can influence, before we can ever persuade or change anything externally, we have to first lead ourselves. And that means delivering on the promises we make to ourselves. It means showing up when we tell ourselves we're going to show up. It means putting ourselves in an environment conducive to growth. There's an old metaphor from Wayne Dyer about an orange, where he essentially says that it doesn't matter what you do to an orange. It doesn't matter how hard you squeeze it, or how many you have, or how you manipulate it. Grapefruit juice will never come out of an orange. Right? Only orange juice can be emitted, and similarly, we can never give or contribute what we do not have inside ourselves. We can't expect our lives to look like anything other than a culmination of the tiny actions, steps, and decisions we make on a daily basis. The external world is a product of the internal world. And the internal world is not realized until we learn to rule over ourselves and our lives with conviction. You can break this down in many different ways. Right? Jocko Willink says discipline equals freedom. John Maxwell talks about a leadership lid, where success levels can never exceed leadership capability. And sure, it applies to teams, but it also applies to self-leadership. Are you searching for and committing to the little hinges in your life that, as W. Clement Stone says, swing big doors, that make the difference? Are you taking responsibility for your shortcomings like leaders do? Are you learning to trust yourself? Are you seeing past the trap of perfection and committing to progress? Are you taking the little things seriously? Because at the end of the day, all things are comprised of little things and only little things. The bottom line is that we master nothing until we master ourselves. Trust ourselves. The bottom line is that we win when we lead ourselves. Hold ourselves accountable for the little things that matter, even when it hurts or we're tired. Even though no one's going to come up and reprimand us for falling short. Right? There are often no visible consequences when we let ourselves down, so let's manufacture that urgency. If you promised yourself you'd get up when that alarm clock goes off, it becomes no longer optional. If you promised yourself you'd go down the road that scares you, it becomes no longer one road of many, it is now the only road. Even though it may be scary or intimidating, it's the darkness that must be confronted. You are more powerful than you know, you are more capable than you understand, but you must lead yourself to your potential. Those little things matter. And so while the temptation is to brush them off as insignificant, while the rest of the world ebbs and flows through life like jellyfish with the tide, your superpower will be to see, harness, and multiply those little decisions like they are gold. Your strength is that when it's easier to run,